Anime Pasadena or AX Chibi? I'm your brother from another mother, Evil Aniki, and that is the question we are answering today. Anime Pasadena or AX Chibi? Which one are you going to be going to? Because it is the week after Anime Expo, and guess what? They announced the dates for AX Chibi, and they line up with Anime Pasadena. This is probably the pettiest thing I've ever seen Anime Expo do by lining these dates up. Usually there's like a week or two difference. Sometimes there's even a month difference between these cons. And this is the first time I've ever seen two conventions of this scale uh, basically happening at the same time, especially anime conventions in the same county, basically. I say county, but like they are, man, they're pretty close together. You know, for an LA convention, for LA conventions, they're pretty close together. And I'm curious to see how this is going to unfold. I have seen convention. I've seen, there was once a time where Anime Impulse LA and Anime Los Angeles were going to line up together, but Anime Impulse ended up delaying their convention by a few weeks. And I once saw a convention actually take place in a convention center, and there was also another convention in there, and then they just merged. They offered discounts on each other's tickets, which was cool. But that's a story for another time. But Anime Los Angeles, just to give them a shout out, they announced their dates for all of their conventions many years in advance. And you can go look them all up. Anime Expo, you can sort of guess when their dates are going to be because they always want to line them up with the 4th of July holiday. Kind of dumb, and I don't really like it, but that's how they do it. And then AX Chibi usually waits until after Anime Expo to announce their dates. But this is the first time they've, directly clashed with Anime Pasadena. Usually they're about a month apart. For some reason, a lot of the conventions are trying to avoid October this year. I don't really understand why. Um, it's a bit odd. Maybe it's just October conventions don't do well. But Anime Pasadena is always in November. In fact, I think AX Chibi is usually in November as well. They're usually just offset by like a week or two. And yeah, I'm curious to see which one is going to be the winner because I do think these conventions offer a lot of the same thing, but there's some stark differences between the two of them. And yeah, it's interesting. So to start off with, I've been to both of these conventions. Anime Pasadena is going into its seventh year, and AX Chibi is going into its fourth year, I believe. And I did not go to either of them last year, but I've gone to AX Chibi twice in its 4-year run, and I might go this year. I don't know. And then for Anime Pasadena, I don't know. I've gone like 3 or 4 times. I don't know exactly how many I've gone to. I think I started on the third or second convention. I honestly don't remember. But I've been to it a few times because it's really close to me, and I'm really sad I didn't go this year or this year. No, last year. I'm really sad I didn't go last year. I was under the weather, and and always, guys, make sure if you are sick, don't go to a convention. And I didn't plan to go to AXGB last year. Honestly, I've been to AXGB twice, and I went the first year and I went the second year, and it just wasn't worth it for me. And I'll get into that in a bit, but yeah, they're pretty much like this. Man, it's crazy how similar these conventions are. So I would say with both of these conventions, they're both very cosplayer centric. I will say AXGB does feel like they push a lot of the shopping, and AXGB is a very unique convention in general. So AXGB is in the Ontario Convention Center, and this convention center used to be the home to Anime Los Angeles until they moved to Long Beach, and they wanted another anime convention to fill that void, and so they had Manga in 2021, and that one was a huge flop. And then AX Chibi got popped up, I think almost literally the next year. And I do think Anime Expo really wants to get that 2 conventions per year type of thing going on because that's really popular with conventions in Japan where they have a winter and a summer. And I think Anime Expo really wants to try and do that as well. Uh, I would like them to. I mean, they're trying to like create like this AX Chibi brand, and they have like different socials, but like I don't know, it's a weird thing. But uh, yeah, so these both of these conventions they serve cosplayers. Primarily. AXGB does have a lot more shopping. I will say I think Anime Pasadena has a lot of voice actor talent that comes. So if you're looking to get things signed, Anime Pasadena is probably a lot better. Anime Pasadena usually has some really good English voice actor panels. And AXGB usually will have a few smaller sponsors. for some gotcha games. I think they've had like Genshin or Honkai. I honestly don't remember. But they usually have some type of brand deal going on, which is interesting. And yeah, and but let's talk about like other things. You know what? For as far as free swag goes, I don't really think you get much free swag from either of them. They are, uh, man, I'm drawing a blank on what I've gotten from Anime Pasadena as free swag, and I don't really think I've ever gotten any. I think you get like a goodie bag, not a goodie bag. You get a bag usually with Anime Pasadena, I got a bag at Anime at AX Chibi as well. But AX Chibi has like a pamphlet guide, and they kind of do this newspaper thing. It's very flimsy, and you can see here they do have like some advertisements in here as well. Uh, yes, they had like a Switch advertisement this year. This was issue number 2 in 2023, and this is nice. I like this. I would love to see Anime Pasadena do something like this for their convention. But also, you know, one thing that AX Chibi does have over Anime Pasadena is that they had, they gave shout outs to their stamp rallies. They had like designated spots for cosplay meetups. Typically everything you would find at Anime Expo, you would find as a smaller version at AX Chibi. They also keep the branding the same, so they keep the same mascots as well. I will say in 2023 they had a big retro section, and I did mention that the Ontario Convention Center used to be an Anime Los Angeles spot, and the reason that this convention center really really wants anime conventions there is because the Ontario Convention Center is surrounded by hotels. I will say that does not decrease the price of the hotels at all. They will charge like $200 a night on average for a room, and they're usually not even that nice. Like I got a hotel for the first Anime Expo Chibi or AX Chibi, and I regretted it. That place was haunted as hell. It was spooky, and there was uh, like window shutters inside the bedroom to separate the bed from like the living space, and it was in like the couch was nasty, and I was just like, like what? Um, but Anime Pasadena, yeah, man, they're so different. But so EX Chibi has a lot of like, sometimes they'll have some industry, but the big thing for both of these is cosplay, and AX Chibi has a little bit of a step up because they bring the AX cosplay stages from Anime Expo to AX Chibi. So if you're looking to get some of those photos on some of those iconic stages, which I don't know if they've updated them at all over the years. I feel like it's been the same ones for like the last 4 years. But I mean, they're really hard to get to during Anime Expo. I didn't really go towards them near this year, but at AXGB they're usually a lot more open. And then the Ontario Convention Center as well, because they have all those hotels. They really do focus on parties, and so AXGB will probably go on super super late into the night, and you don't really need to buy like an after party ticket. A lot of people like to do room hotel parties, and it's kind of like a party con zone. And I will say though, the big thing for me that Ontario Convention Center has going against it is that there's not really a lot of shade outside. It really sucks to be outside. And the parking also sucks ass too. Ontario Convention Center has probably some of the worst parking available. Um, and then going back to Anime Pasadena, talking about some of the perks. One of the perks for Anime Pasadena is that it's completely ghostable. You can just show up to the convention outside, and that's where most of the cosplayers are, and that's where most of the photographers are, and you can just, ghost it if you're looking to cosplay. And I think this is a big difference between the two conventions. So, I think personally, I think Anime Pasadena is probably going to win this fight in the fight for attendance. I think this is going to really set back AXGB unless AXGB can announce some big panels and like drive people to go out to Ontario. I really don't think they're going to do well. They really have to pull something out of their behinds to make it worth people's while to go out there instead of Anime Pasadena. Because not only that, but Anime Pasadena is also near the train station, so you can take the train there from basically anywhere in LA. Like you could go from Long Beach to Pasadena, and it's a lot easier to get to. And there is also an after party for Anime Pasadena. It does cost an extra ticket cost, but it's not that much, and It's an interesting time. I will say for AX Chibi, there just tends to be a lot of parties going on throughout the night. I remember the first AX Chibi, they had a huge stage and it was just blasting all night long and it was super cool. Um, yeah, so they're very similar, very different. But let's actually look at the website for both of them. So starting off with Anime Pasadena. So Anime Pasadena going into its seventh year. What are they bragging about here? So they've got 400 vendors and artists, over 60 celebrity guests, huge, amazing cosplayers, anime lounge, huge photo ops. There's always a lot of photo opportunities at Anime Pasadena as well. They've got some really cool sets. They had like a Death Note set. Usually, whatever like voice actors they get, they try and like cater some of their photo backdrops to be around that. Free arcades zone, stage performances. This is going to be interesting. So the stage performances, I think, are actually pretty tied between the two conventions. I think HGB usually has more stage performances because they have like two or three stages. But also, I wonder how this is going to go because like are it's going to be weird seeing like, oh, the idol that let's use who are some of the local LA idols like Barry and Hamu. Like it'd be so weird. It's like on Saturday, one of them's at like fucking Anime Pasadena, and then Sunday they're at AX Chibi or something. I guarantee you that's gonna happen to someone. If these conventions don't change their dates, I might do them both in the same weekend just to say I did it because this is the most insane thing I've ever seen in a while. Anime Pasadena also has a karaoke that goes on all day, and it's kind of in the corner. They don't have a karaoke late into the night at the after party, so it's in like the hallways for the convention. So I think it kind of closes. Basically, Anime Pasadena, if you're in the hallways, they kind of kick everyone out. I think around like 6 or 7, and then you have to wait for the after party to open up around like I want to say it was like 9 or 10. We'll look at that in a second. Oh yeah, here we can see. Yeah, so Saturday it's 10 to 7, and then Sunday it's 10 to 6. So yeah, I was pretty right on. And there's a VIP pass that you can get in for an hour early. Never get the VIP passes, guys. It's just not worth it. If none of us do it, then they won't ever expect anyone to do it. So just don't do it, guys. Trust me. And I guarantee you the prices are probably ridiculous too. Okay, let's see what else they have. They have a maid cafe. AX Chibi had maid cafe a few times as well. AX Chibi usually has like a bunch of food trucks. This is saying food and drinks. I'm trying to think if Anime Pasadena ever had any like good food. I don't really think so. I think AX Chibi wins in terms of food. If you're looking to get like a mini like Japanese street food vibe, AX Chibi definitely has more of that going on. Free professional photo stations. That's really cool. I don't think AX Chibi has that. When they say free professional photo stations, it means that there's like a couple like photographer stations going up, and I don't know if you have to. Well, it says free, so you can just go up and you can get some good photos. But they also do that at the after party, which is really cool. Is that there's just like a backdrop and a photographer there, so if you can get your photos taken there, and then they'll post them online eventually. Anime industry and cosplay panels, anime activity zone, official after party, ribbon game, Four Empires interactive fantasy experience, much more. The Four Empires interactive fantasy experience is something new that they've started doing, and it's kind of like this medieval section of like their one of their halls, and I haven't done it. I'm not really into it. That's the thing with Anime Pasadena is that like Anime Pasadena is anime, but it's also a lot more that isn't anime. Like for the after party, they usually have like an emo cover band, and that's kind of fun, but it's not really anime. Uh, and so it's definitely like they kind of lean into like pop culture and party a little bit more. So it's a little bit more generalized, even though it says Anime Pasadena and anime is like the first thing. They tend to like have a lot of like non-anime stuff as well. I will say, I think in terms of vendors, I bet you AX Chibi will probably have more vendors. And I wonder, honestly, AX Chibi announcing their convention later, I wonder if some of the vendors might even back out of Anime Pasadena to go to AX Chibi or vice versa. Like, or, like it's interesting because now that they're competing on the weekends, they're competing on the same weekend, like, it's just it's I don't know if AX Chibi does a lottery system because AX Chibi has their vendor hall and then they have an artist alley. So and a lot of the people who are probably an artist alley for AX Chibi are probably as a vendor artist for Anime Pasadena. Anime Pasadena is probably a lot cheaper to get a table. I don't know if we can see that off their. Uh, website here. They also have meetups. Let's see what kind of meetups they have. Um, oh, okay. So here we go. So Anime Pasadena just lists them out. This is kind of nice. They're gonna have a Persona, Sonic, Bungo Stray Dogs, Naruto, Capcom, Date Everything, Love in Deep Space, One Piece, and there will probably be a lot more. Uh, since a lot of the a lot of the cosplay zones are probably outside, it's probably a lot easier to get these approved. So there are probably going to be a lot more. What about for AX Chibi? Let's okay. Like here we are for the page for AX Chibi. A lot of their stuff is coming soon. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if AX Chibi changed their dates, to be honest, because this seems like the kind of thing where it's like corporate approved it, but then they realize, and then they're gonna realize in like a week after people start complaining, it's like, hey, I've got a booth for both of these conventions, and I can't be at both of these conventions, or stuff like that. But also, all their information is still coming soon, except for their hours and operations. But I can't even click that one. Um, yeah, so they got no information yet other than the date, and that's unfortunate for them because I'm making this video and they're just gonna get dogged on by me now. They don't have any information. They launched this without any information. Are you kidding me? Like, what kind of man? Like, brother. No, can't be doing this to us. You can't just do like this. This screams to me that like they don't know what they're doing. Especially with the only one that like the hours of operation. The only one it's one of the only ones like see this one. I could click on policies for FAQ. So, but the hours of operation does not say coming soon, but you can't click on it. Can't click on it. Nope. Okay. But let's see how much the tickets are going to cost for both of them. So AX Chibi, we're looking at 44 plus service fees and tax. So you're probably looking to spend like $50 for a 2 day, and children are free. Under 13 is free. Yeah, you're probably looking to spend maybe 55 bucks on a ticket for 2 days. You cannot buy a 1 day pass. Uh, let's see, they got anything else on here? Nope, this is just the usual nonsense for stuff. Now let's go to the Anime Pasadena page. So I already clicked on it earlier, but here's their ticket page. They've got event tickets for $31, and that is the early bird weekend. Oh no, what am I looking at? Okay, so they have a 1 day pass for $30, probably 31. Oh, and this is after taxes. Okay. So it's $30, about $31 with taxes and fees included. Look at that. They do the math for you so you don't have to guesstimate, unlike AXGB. That's actually really smart of them. Children 12 and under are admitted for free with an adult limit of 2 per adult ticket. Does AXGB have something for children like that? Wait, AXGB, if you're 5 and under, no credentials required. Age 6 to 13, you must select a 2 day. Okay, so there's a child badge. Wait, what? Okay, so under 6 to 13, it's still free, but you have to get a badge or else you can't get in. Probably so they can limit people, or at least know that they're there. It does not say. It does not say how many children AXGB will allow. I'm assuming it's 1 child per adult. That would just, I think that's the same policy for Anime Expo. I mean, well, I guess if you get two, I guess it doesn't really matter. You could probably come with a whole school full of children and it wouldn't matter, right? Like I could put 7. There's nothing stopping me. Um, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But you need to order a wristband like this. So you can't just get. I think that's how that works. So what AXGB is about $50. And if we're going back to Anime Pasadena is $31 for a 1 day, and that's for both days. But for 47, $48, you can get the 2 day pass. So for Anime Pasadena, you're looking to save maybe like $5-10 on a ticket. They also have all of their information for their hours and their cosplay meetups already listed on the website. You can, but also, man. So let me just go back to my main screen here, because okay, so that's interesting. So I do think Anime Pasadena is a little bit cheaper. But is that $10 really saving you anything? So for AX Chibi, uh, even though how do I say this? So for AXGB, the after parties are kind of included into your ticket price. So that means you get to party inside the convention center, and so that means the halls inside the convention center are open till like midnight. So you get to walk around and drink inside the convention center, which is a really really unique experience. Not many convention centers let you hang around inside and drink and do cool stuff. One of the years I went, they had the late night drinking karaoke inside the cosplay photos like set area, which was really cool. It was really hard to film in there, so I don't think I ever put it into a video. But it was really dark. Um, but there was also two outdoor stages as well. So you had the indoor karaoke. I think there was some late night room activities as well, and then there was two outdoor stages, one small stage and one large stage. I don't think they had the large stage the second time I was there. I think they just went to a one stage, and then the food vendors were outside, so they had a lot of food trucks. So actually, I think AX Chibi probably has better offerings for the price. If you don't include parking. Parking probably will bend you over backwards at AXGB, because all the parking is for hotels. So you want, honestly, if you're going to go to either of them, you want to get a hotel for AXGB because you want to be able to like stay there late and drink and party, and then just go walk to a hotel and just crash. But for Anime Pasadena, you can just like hang out all day and then wait a couple hours, maybe go have dinner or go home and change and then come to the after party. And the after party is going to be an additional like $25. Uh, yeah, it's like 25, 20, 24 extra dollars. So Anime Pasadena, a little bit more on the pricier side, it's looking. But like I said, Anime Pasadena is way more ghostable. So I think the odds are a lot of the cosplayers probably won't even buy a ticket to Anime Pasadena, and they will just go there for the photo shoots and cosplay meetups during the day, and then maybe they'll get a late night, you know, after party ticket instead, and that will be their con for Saturday, and then for Sunday, they'll just go back for more photos. That tends to be the thing with cosplayers, and Anime Expo does the same thing where if there's like a few cosplay meetups outside, and so you don't have to buy a ticket, you could just go there and like get photos. There was some controversy at Anime Expo this year, and I'll talk about that in another video. But AX Chibi is completely fenced off. You cannot ghost AX Chibi, so you have to buy a ticket for AX Chibi. There's no way around um, that, and that's kind of the downside for that. Uh, Man, this is a tough one. I really do think Anime Pasadena is probably going to win. I might try going to both. I don't know. Anime Pasadena is offering the 1 day badges, but honestly, man, this is a tough one. I would think Anime Pasadena usually has like a paper lanyard badge, not the best high quality thing. And then AX Chibi usually, from when I went, I believe they had a wristband, so it's kind of like the same RFID badge that they have for Anime Expo, but it's like a wristband and you can tap to get in and out. Uh, for Anime Pasadena, you can go on day zero to pick up your badge. I think AX Chibi has a day zero as well. I will say if you don't pick up your badge on day zero for either of them, you will be in line for a long time. And That especially sucks for AX Chibi because there is no shade. At least for Anime Pasadena, the convention center is lined with trees, so you're able to be in shade for some of it. But it's not all of it is, and sometimes it winds into the back lot area, and that it's just like a parking lot. It's basically just an empty lot, and it's just really hot. There are hotels near Anime Pasadena as well, so you can party it up at Anime Pasadena. So this is just really interesting. I don't know what to say, guys. Let me know which convention you guys are thinking of going to down in the comments below. Which one you think will win this war? I really personally, I think what's going to end up happening is AXGB is just going to back off. I think AXGB is going to move their convention by a week because they're going to realize this is a dumb thing to do because probably not a lot of vendors, like a lot of vendors are probably already booked for Anime Pasadena, and a lot of other vendors are just going to be like, yeah, probably can't go to that one, bro. But that's where I'm going to leave it today. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye bye.